just in case they ask. I'll record the meeting, and I have to read a virtual statement that's required. So I'll do that at this time. Okay, this meeting is called to order. Good afternoon, and due to the governor's orders, all members of the Citizen Budget Advisory Council are participating virtually. For virtual meetings, committee members will be muted until asked to be heard. Sorry. So asked to be heard. At that time, they will be recognized and will be unmuted. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. A committee member will be recognized and state their vote. Today's meeting is a public meeting. The meeting will also be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, which can be accessed at www.cityofws.org/2682/video. A recording of today's meeting will be available on next Tuesday on the city's website. Okay, so how's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, and it's a small group, so I mean, if you all want to unmic, that's fine. And we kind of have those criteria for larger groups that, you know, we got to manage a little bit better. But you all are good. It's good to see all of the familiar faces, and there might be a few that you don't recognize. So at this time, what we'll do is just go around and have introductions of people who are on the call. And so our newest member is Ross Griffith, and I'll let him introduce himself. So I'll start with you, Ross, and you just tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe what you do or anything you'd like to share.
Sure. I went to Wake Forest undergraduate, went to graduate school, came back and worked there 47 years before retiring 7 years ago. And I've done some part-time consulting and part-time work since then. But my last job, I had 4 different jobs at Wake Forest. My last job was director of institutional research, which I enjoyed using my math major and did a lot of statistical work in that job.
Great. Sounds great. Sounds interesting. Thank you for your willingness to come and serve on CBAC. It's an interesting group. We're a small group, but this team has provided great insight and great recommendations that we do report back to council on. So you'll hear a little bit more about that as we kind of move through this journey together. All right, let's go to Sheila.
Hi, I'm Sheila Garcia. I work with Wells Fargo in one of our chief operating group portfolio delivery office. And I've been with Wells Fargo 21 years, and I've been on CBAC, I think this is my 3rd or 4th year.
Welcome back, Sheila. Good to see you. Okay, Dr. Hazetta Schuler.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Hazetta Schuler, and I work at Winston-Salem State University in the Department of Biological Sciences. And I've been with CBAC for about 3 years.
Okay, thank you. Good to see you. Nathan.
Hey everybody, my name is Nathan. I am a property manager here in town, and this is great. It's great to see everybody again. It's a little weird in this setting, but it's our new normal. So I guess this is my 3rd year with CBAC, and I guess it'd be my 2nd term, I believe. I've lost count, I guess, yeah, but it's anyway. So anyway, it's great to be here. Great to see everybody.
Good to see you too. And I'm surprised, but here's Jesse. I'm so glad Jesse's back, and tell us what's going on, Jesse.
Hey everybody, Jesse Ide. I work for Truist, formerly BB&T. I'm in the corporate treasury department. Been on CBAC for 5 years now, maybe 6. Definitely in the second term. But yeah, happy to be back. I think I missed the end of CBAC last year. I had a little bit of a skiing accident, and it was not a little bit of a skiing accident. I had a big ski accident. Incapacitated for a while. Yeah. But back in action, so looking forward to another round of CBAC.
Okay. Are you in Winston or did you move to Charlotte?
No, I'm one of the Winston holdouts, so yeah, I'm still here. And glad too, right? Everybody's working from home, so
right.
Why move to Charlotte? Now I'm still here in Winston.
Okay, great. Well, glad you're back with us. So that is all of the CBAC members who are present so far. And the truth is, besides Tanya, this is our core group. There are, I believe, 3 other members on the roll that we have not seen. And I think after tomorrow, we'll speak with the mayor's office and see if we can recruit 3 more members to have an official quorum. But I do like the intimacy of the group and this team. And so, so either way, we will just move right along and kind of look forward to some really great dialogue for this current year. But before we move forward, I would like the budget team to introduce themselves as well. Steve?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Steve Haverluck. I'm the Deputy Budget and Evaluation Director. I've been with the City of Winston-Salem since September of 2011. Glad to see you all.
Heather.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Curry. I'm a budget and evaluation analyst for the city, and I've been here since 2017. Excited to be back with CBAC again this year.
Sarah?
Hi, my name is Sarah Coffey. I'm also a budget and evaluation analyst, and I've been here about 4 years. Good to see everyone again.
And she's probably incognito, but Hope Ann is with us. She's going to support the committee. I think you all remember Patricia a while ago. She was the office administrator, and she's actually retiring December 1st. And so, Hope Ann, if you want to, do you want to say anything, and what department you work in, or?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hope Ann Snyder-Walsh, and I'm with the city's Office of Performance Accountability. And as Patrice indicated, I'll be supporting you all in this endeavor, and I look forward to working with everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Hope Ann. And feel free to engage. Patricia sometimes engaged also in the conversation and activity. So thank you for supporting us. I know you're kind of behind the scenes, but if you ever want to jump in, feel free to do so as well. Okay, so let's see what's next on the agenda. Sorry about that. Okay, the charge. Let's see. Let's just share my screen. Let's see. Okay. So this is the agenda that you received. And so we just did welcome and introductions and then an overview of the charge. And so I emailed you all kind of the concept of this current year. So the charge would be to review the impact of COVID-19 and social justice unrest on the city's budget. This particular year, you all know, you know, Nathan alluded to it, it's just a different year. We're in unprecedented times, and COVID-19 coupled with social justice unrest has had an impact on just kind of how we navigate the world and just the impact it has on local government. And so we are not any different, and so there is an impact, and hopefully throughout our season we can have some conversations around it, around COVID-19 and social justice unrest, and how the city has responded to both of those areas. So I just kind of threw out some potential topics, but I am also open to hearing from you all if there are other things you would like to discuss during the course of our time together. And, you know, this is just a different year, so you may not have concrete recommendations at the end. It could be just comments. You very well could have some recommendations you would like to present to council. So this will be totally kind of up to you all on kind of what you would like for your final report to, basically it's the finance committee is where we present the report from CBAC. So one of the topics would be COVID-19's impact on major revenues. And so each month I present to the finance committee updates on the revenues. The deputy director, Stephen Haverlick, he keeps track of the major revenue sources like sales tax and property tax, and I provide those updates to council. And so we can have an in-depth discussion about those. It includes, say, ABC allocations, which that's kind of an interesting particular revenue. We thought that it would go down in the pandemic, similar to the Great Recession numbers, but there were new articles and information that we saw that people are kind of drinking their way through COVID, and the numbers actually reflect that. And so that's going to be kind of interesting to have a session where we discuss the revenues. Then I have the city's response to social justice unrest during the budget process. So you all are aware, I mean, there were protests, there were calls to defund the police. And so we can have some conversations and just show examples of how the city responded to the social justice unrest, and committee that was formed out of that to address that. And the staff did quite a bit of work and responses for the mayor. The protesters showed up at the mayor's house, and so we were able to turn around a response package within really a day, so that he had information to give to protesters. Then I have on here a detailed review and discussion of the Winston-Salem, the Winston-Salem PD's budget. So kind of in the midst of some of the social unrest around police, there was a detailed presentation. It was a virtual town hall, actually, that we went through and did a deep dive into the police budget. This was for transparency purposes. People were thinking there was $1 million we could take. They wanted to know, out of the $70+ million police budget, you know, what that money was spent for. And so that's what we gave them. And so that's another day we can also review that with CBAC and see if you have any discussions or input around that. Another thing we're looking at is changes to the city's community grant process. So every year we have a grant process where nonprofit organizations can apply for city funding. This year we have looked at some alternatives to the grant process. Next Tuesday, prior to that, we met one-on-one with council members. They provided some feedback. On next Tuesday, we will present that. But during one of our CBAC sessions, we can provide you with the results. And if you all have any feedback about the alternatives, we can discuss that as well. We also can discuss CARES Act funding. And so CARES Act really is the federal response to the coronavirus. And so we received some grant funding, so we can go over how we benefited from CARES Act funding as a city. And then the impact on the budget from temporarily suspending parking fees and fines. And so that's kind of one piece of that. But we also, there was a moratorium on water bill payments. And so obviously there's a definite impact to the budget on that. That's handled through our utilities department. And so we can discuss what the city did and how that is impacting utilities budget, and then the parking fees, obviously, the parking budget. And then the last thing I have listed is an early look at the budget forecast. Anytime we think revenues are going to be impacted or major issues, and then of course increased expenditures, we have to start looking early at what the forecast will be, what will be our budget gap. It will be significant this year, and then having some conversations around how to balance the budget in the midst of a pandemic. And so some of the CBAC members remember we did an exercise on balancing the budget in that sense. We may look at doing something similar, but make it more realistic to kind of the situation that we're in now, and maybe come up with some really good suggestions from you all on how you think we should manage the budget. All right, does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts on the topics or the charge?
I like these topics a lot. I think they're interesting.
Okay.
Is there actually a budget forecast available to review now, or are they still in the process?
So that's a great question. What we are preparing, and this will be the first year we've prepared one this early, but next Tuesday we will share an early budget forecast with the mayor and city council. After we share it with the mayor and council, what we'll do is just have a session with CBAC, and I'll share it with you all so you can see what was presented to them, and have some conversations around it, and any thoughts about it. So it'll be kind of you all will be kept abreast of the information we present to council, but typically we never share anything publicly before council reviews it. But our normal early budget forecast is usually around February. So this is like what we're calling an early forecast, only because of the magnitude of the potential gap in the budget. So yeah. And what I will do is, once that's presented, if that ends up being our next session, I will send you a copy of any presentation so that you can review before we have some discussion about it. Anyone else?
So Patrice, on the budget forecast and balancing it, when we went through that process, didn't you say we have to have a balanced budget? Is that a requirement for the city?
Well, yes, that is a requirement. Yes, for all cities. I mean, we have to, it's like a state requirement. We have to have a balanced budget before June 30th, and the fiscal year starts July 1st. So it becomes hard when you have a budget gap and trying to make decisions on how to close the gap. You remember you all had some struggle to try to hold tight to values and issues that were important, but still have to make some really hard cuts that may impact service, or it may impact staff. So those would be some of the things that will probably let you all just throw out, or come up with even something innovative that may be useful as we look at how do we close our budget gap. Anyone else? Is there anything that, any topic that's not listed that you would like to discuss that's around kind of the impact of COVID-19 or social justice unrest? And you have some time to think about it. And so if there's something that while we're going through our sessions that you would like to discuss or have a session on, feel free to let me know and we can see what we can develop around it. But this will probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, get us through most of the season. And then, like I said, I kind of like some time where we can really have some discussions and then formulate whatever will be in our final report as well. So as of right now, all of the meetings will be virtual. So I don't anticipate us going through this round of being in person. So they'll all be virtual. The meeting times, right now we're on Tuesdays. It's the second Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Now I have had a request to push it back to 3 o'clock and wanted to get a sense from you all, you know, how do you feel about that?
I'm indifferent between 2 and 3.
Okay.
Either way is fine with me.
I'm okay with either.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. So I will try to move it back to 3 o'clock. I have to check with the media marketing department to make sure that's okay. A lot of times on Tuesdays, there's committee meetings that start at 4:30, and so they have to have ample time. So what that would mean is that we really would have to try to make sure our meetings stay within an hour, and that's fine. You know, we'll try to do it from say 3 to 4 o'clock, and just try to kind of keep it condensed and go from there. Okay, so I'll make that adjustment. If there's an issue, I'll let you know. But right now we'll just say 3 o'clock will be our standard meetings. Okay, so the next thing is just a reminder of our ethics policy. I believe all of the current former members have completed the required training. Ross, I'll send you some information about it, and you can, at your leisure, review it. And then there is a form to sign that we have to have returned, and the city attorney's office keeps track of everybody that's completed the training. But I'm certain that everybody else on the call you're good. You don't have to watch any more videos, and you should be fine. So one of the main things is, you know, conflict of interest, but some of the other things that are in there, in-person type things, I think will be avoided no matter what, just because we're doing this virtually. So I think we're good on that, but we just have to have those forms signed and maintained. Let's see. And so the last major thing that we need to do for today's meeting is elect a chair and a vice chair. And so basically the chair facilitates the meetings. I will create the agenda, and essentially you'll open up and just kind of move us forward. There'll always be a speaker, whether it's me or whether it's Steve or one of the budget analysts. And so you won't have to worry about developing any of that. You will have the agenda and just kind of move us through. Don't you all raise your hands at one time. Anybody like to nominate anyone, or anybody want to volunteer to be chair?
Remind me, who was chair and vice chair last cycle?
Wasn't it Hayseta was the chair.
Yes. And Sheila, you were vice chair, right? Or no?
I never had to do anything, so I don't remember.
Okay. I know, yes, Hazel Schuler was the chair.
And Nathan.
And Nathan. Okay. Okay.
Nathan, you up for it?
Sure.
Vice chair to chair seems like a natural progression. I nominate Nathan.
Okay.
Nobody else wants to do it?
We're all stepping backwards so that you can stay forward.
Good way to put it, Sheila. Okay, so Nathan, okay, and this is just a nomination, Nathan chair, and what about vice chair?
How about Sheila?
Yeah, I'll do it.
second
I don't
that.
have one of these yet, so.
Second.
So y'all just reversing the roles, okay. Oh, no, Sheila.
Sheila.
Yeah, Sheila.
Yeah, Sheila. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so when we do the vote, I have to go through everybody's name, so I need to find your names. Well, it doesn't matter. I can look at you, just who's here. Okay, so there's a motion on the floor for Nathan Bourne to be the chair and Sheila Garcia to be the vice chair. Okay, so all in favor, I'll just need to call your name. Ross Griffith.
I'm in favor, yes.
Okay. Sheila.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Jesse.
Yes.
Hazel Schuler.
Yes.
Okay, that is unanimous. So we have a chair and vice chair. So at the, Nathan, I'll send you there that you have to read the virtual statement at the beginning of the meeting. So I'll send that to you.
Okay.
And then we can just go from there. We'll have the agenda and discuss the first topic. So are there any last minutes? This was a short meeting. Our first meeting's always a little bit shorter.
Patrice, I have a question.
Okay.
So usually we have like comparisons to what other cities, municipalities are doing. Have you been in contact with other cities and what they're doing around COVID-19 and social unrest and things like that? Will we have some information like that?
Excellent question, Sheila. That we call that benchmarking. We benchmarking data. We can definitely have a session where we look at what other cities are doing around COVID. To answer your question, I have been somewhat in contact. People have contacted us to see what we're doing as well. Matter of fact, I sent a couple of cities a few PowerPoints, police presentation, and there's a committee that I facilitated around it. So we'll definitely get into some discussions about that. So great, benchmarking.
And along with that, Patrice, that was a good question, Sheila. Have we considered maybe not only just benchmarking, but actually bringing in entire committees that serve like in our capacities in other cities to bring us in jointly to bounce off each other, some ideas or something?
I don't know if there's many cities that have a citizen budget advisory council, but that's something I can look into. That might be a little bit more difficult if we do find others to try to find a common time to discuss, but we'll look into it.
Okay.
One avenue would be to compare budgets of a city like Greensboro's for last year, this year with our budgets.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
See what changes were made.
Okay, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to the budget conversation, Patrice, because I would assume we've had a lot of shortfalls and having to close that gap has got to be a challenge this year.
It is.
It will be a big challenge and some hard decisions. So
unless you get more ABC revenues, right?
That's right. We're rolling on ABC revenue. So I don't, I think Steve had talked to the administrator, which I don't want to talk too much because I mean, we're going to talk about some of these things, but one of the things they mentioned is that when, after the bars were closed down for COVID-19, that people, stocked up at the ABC store. So that was one of the thoughts behind people. I guess they were like, we're gonna get our alcohol somewhere. We can't go to the bars, but we will stock up at home. So I mean, I hope long term, just for people's health, that they're not over drinking, but the ABC revenues, and they did some internal things and cost savings as well. So, but that does help us. But there's some other areas where we do hurt. We didn't have a fair that hurt some revenues, and there's some other impacts to COVID-19 that hurts the budget, and that our general fund may have to subsidize, the convention center and things like that, to tourism. So yeah, there's a lot around that. Any other comments or questions or topics? Okay, if not, then that ends our meeting, and the next meeting we'll have our chair, Nathan, lead us off, and we look forward to it. So it'll be the second Tuesday in December at 3 o'clock. But I will email you guys, and so you'll have all the information. All right, that's it.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.